something new. Let's say we do a new like SpaceX project, right? And we've never done anything that involves going to outer space. But then looking at what are the values, what things are relevant for people, what behaviors do we need to address, those still help inform.
Welcome to another episode of Stuck in Design. Each week, we pose questions to three founders, Donn, Jieyu or Tze, who run award-winning design agency, Stuck. They'll share with us tips and lessons on design, creativity, and business. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi, Tze.
Hello.
As like a designer, right? How do you kind of stay relevant and at the forefront of the field, especially when a lot of what is important in design is to really be at like the forefront and keeping up with new trends and everything?
I think okay, so we're a bit funny because we are consultancy and the stuff that we do is very, very broad. But I would say there's two parts to it. One is maybe project focused, right? And then the other one is what kind of information do you bring across projects that might be useful? So for the project focused things, I would say that I don't know, a bit like the structure that we use to think about our projects, right? What do we know about the technology and trends that's happening around the project? What do we know about the brands and businesses related to the category of product or industry? And then things related to the consumer around. So I think generally to stay up to date is just being kind of greedy with information and general knowledge. But when a project comes along, it's like plucking. So if let's say it's a beauty care project, right? Then understanding what are the beauty care products out there which are in the market, what are beauty care technology, and I think those sources can come from anywhere, right? It can come from blogs, it can come, I mean, I don't go around surfing beauty blogs, but for me personally, the technology behind that stuff is interesting. So if there's new formats around, like new ways to apply, or new ways that things can work together, I think those are stuff which appear on tech blogs, which appear on business blogs, appear on design blogs, even on packaging blogs, right? Because sometimes it's about packaging application technology. So having that at the background is useful. Then the second part on the brand side, you can't go into a project not knowing who is competitors, what's happening in the market. So like one big part of it is like competitive analysis, right? What are the products out there? What are the brands out there? What are the cool things that they're doing? And I think blogs like Fast Company or even the traditional news outlets, they give interesting information on what brands are doing, and what startups are doing, what emerging brands are doing, and that's useful to set context. And then the last one, which is in the consumer space, that one is really broad. So that's where I think work from other projects sometimes helps. So the same audience who you might have been working on for, let's say, a smart wearable product, there are sometimes overlap with what's, like the same person is buying beauty care products, or they are trying to fulfill the same need because they're interested in, let's say, health and sleep, right? And then you can look at the overlap between those categories of devices and beauty products, and that brings something new to the table.
Do you find it always easy to find like this sort of cross relevance? Like, say for example, if there's like a new project that is completely in a new industry that maybe Stuck has never kind of delved into before, do you think that it's always possible to find like cross relations even in a very new?
Yeah, I've never seen a project where there's no relevance from other projects. It might be very mundane. It might be something as mundane as materials, the kind of materials used. It may not be technology, but it may be what's underlying the technology. And the one in the consumer space is always relevant, right? Like things relating to behavior or values don't change so fast. And that stuff is always useful as a lens on, hey, okay, this is something new. Let's say we do a new like SpaceX project, right? And we've never done anything that involves going to outer space. But then looking at what are the values, what things are relevant for people, what behaviors do we need to address, those still help inform. And I think having that part from other projects is always useful. I think the harder part is not so much of where do I get the information, and it's more of how do we string together enough coherency. Because that's always the tough part, right, in design research, is doing the synthesis. Like, how can we get enough juicy nuggets, and how can we string together enough things in a relevant way so that the design team can then make a leap to say, like, hey, with this train of thought, if we push it a little bit further, there's something really interesting there. I think that's the harder one, which I don't really know how to train for that. I think practice. Yeah, the more you practice, the more you get better at it. Yeah.
So have you ever encountered, say, a topic that you find really difficult to get yourself, I guess, interested in finding out the most, like the newest in that particular field, simply because it's not something that you naturally gravitate to, but it's a necessary part in, say, a project?
I mean, I guess for the work in Stuck, we kind of have the luxury of picking our project, so that doesn't really happen here. I guess in the past, I did have some projects which are really weird. So I had a project working on feminine care products, like doing tampons. And okay, that was still interesting though. But the one that no one wanted to do was the one about toilet paper, right? So there literally was a project about toilet paper and understanding, how can we innovate? What's next for toilet paper? And the research that they did was quite cringe-inducing, like really, really strange stuff. So I wasn't part of the project, but in the end, when I look at the project outcomes and like what they had to do on the project, there's still a lot of overlap with femcare and with some of the other, even the beauty care products projects that was going on with that consultancy at the time. So I think it's more about, do you want to take like, do you have an open enough mind to say, like, okay, we do this project, it may not be my personal interest topic, but then at the same time, I think it's a testament to your design skills to take a topic that no one wants to do, like the hot potato topic or the shit topic, and do something cool with it. Yeah. Sorry, I had to end with a bad pun.
Thanks for joining us today on Stuck in Design. See you next week for more tips on design, creativity, and business.